Facebook. And we're back.
And we're back with another
Live.
episode.
I'm just kidding.
New York.
Live from New York.
We have a guest today. We want to make it official. You're
For the mothers.
pretty much, yeah, you're the third guest now.
Yep, third guest.
Third?
About time.
Yeah, so we
Who was
asked
ever a guest?
Jada.
Oh, you're right. My bad.
Yeah, but we wanted to have you for a while. We wanted to have you like since last time. I think your
Her
agent
list
said
of
you weren't
demands
available.
Was like,
Yeah, you said
couldn't
you weren't
afford
under
it.
a budget last season.
Yeah.
But once we came back, we were like,
We got a
one is gonna go.
sponsorship.
My rider was a little long, I know.
That's what it was. That's what, and I told her, I've never seen one that long. And well, we made it happen today. You told me you want to have her on, and how what do you think made you?
Well, I don't know. My mom is my person. I don't. What's so funny though? You know how some people will be like, my mom is my best friend. To an extent, yes, but also like my mom is my parent. I don't want to ever diminish the parent aspect because the respect is there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I guess I would say my mom is a young mom.
She's a cool mom.
She's a cool mom, not a regular mom. But I feel like,
Mom, for sure.
yeah, but I feel like it's whenever you have a young mom, and shout out to all the older moms who are like this, because they're far few and in between. But the openness,
Yeah.
the thing where I'm like, I'd rather drink at my parents' house on a Friday
Yes.
night than go to a bar. Like, I feel like that's so cool because I felt like. Yeah, but I feel like I was ready for the real world, like going out, because I knew my boundaries, I knew my limits. I've never been out and yes, I have been out and been like belligerent, but it's been far few and very, very, very in between.
That's it.
That we know of.
That we know. Have you seen our show? Like, do you?
Yes, I've actually seen every episode.
Every episode.
Except for the finale.
Okay.
And that was just more of a timing thing, so I had a lot going on. So I just have not watched the very last one.
Is there anything that surprised you? Anything?
No.
Nothing.
No.
Everything's just.
No. It was very on par.
Really?
I feel like it was.
Was it what you expected from when we first told you? Like,
No, actually, you know what? I feel like no, it wasn't what I expected in my head, and I'm not even sure what that was. But I feel like y'all actually did better than what I had in my head. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel that people always say I'm going to start a podcast, and it's like, okay, cool, and I listen to podcasts, like I love them, but you never know. Sorry, you never know, kind of what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And when your own child says I'm going to do something, you want to be full for it and support it and be like, I'm all for it and no problem, and you don't want to see them fail either, because that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, this is actually pretty good. I feel
Would
like
you have tell me if it sucked?
yes.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, I think people would tell
Yeah, I
you.
mean,
We've had.
But no, I think it was raw. It was y'all. It was a good representation of who both y'all. There was no hiding anything.
A lot of people told us that the chemistry with us was, we've only known each other.
It was
for a year,
kismet.
but we felt like.
And just because I didn't know like a lot of the backstory
Yeah.
on your side, so for me, I felt like I wanted to keep listening because what's going to happen. So yeah, no, I was actually really enjoyed it, and I feel like it's gonna grow, right? Season 1, I feel like you kind of iron out stuff, you figure out your platform, what you're about, what you want to believe in, and move forward.
We kind of have like a little.
And now season 2, and I think it's already gonna kick off with a bang.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
you can only go up from here.
I know, that's what we're looking for, and we have like a little mold now, like what our show is, and
Yeah.
what we want to make it. And I think we both have that clear.
Yeah.
If we wouldn't have that from the beginning, it would have not worked out. Like,
But I think it's a cool experience because, like, y'all know we interviewed Chris and my mom got to be there.
yes, that's fun.
And
He was such a lovely person. Honestly, that sounds so old of me saying lovely. Showing my age.
Yeah.
He honestly was a
cool as
genuine person. No, he really was. And I feel like he wasn't. Some celebrities you meet, they're only worried about that one thing they did in life. And that's all you hear over and over. And you don't want to, yes, they were that person, but that's.
I'm sure he doesn't want to be known as that person.
No,
either,
and I feel like he totally, really was real. Like,
Yeah.
and I think for you guys, that was a benefit to have him be that. He felt open enough to be himself.
It felt like we were like just a three, like we have a show, all three of us. Like,
It was just a conversation.
Yeah. And I think he went and just did great with that. And it fits so well with what we do. I want to go out with him. Like, you saw some of his stories. Like, I want to go out with him. I want to hang out with him on the weekends.
I think it'd be so fun to do like a full night out.
Yes, it's so fun. And so, yeah, so who else? Anybody in your family? Have you heard any feedback from, other people around you or anybody
I do know my cousins and like my brother. Like, I think they've all listened, and my nephews.
Oh my God.
But I'm not sure there was any shock there either.
No, nothing.
No, our family's pretty wild. I mean, we're kind of.
They fit with the brand. They're on brand.
Our family's halfway to crazy.
Yeah.
They're on brand.
Yeah.
They are on
We
brand.
all are very unique.
Every time I come,
it's always a good time.
There's always something going on. There's always like a lot.
It's always a good
going on.
time.
Everything's fun.
So I don't think there was anything that really.
Should've
I don't
been.
feel that would have shocked anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels normal.
Well, you know what we haven't done?
Yes.
We haven't taken a shot.
I know. I feel like we've. This is not the ones we usually do, but we're gonna.
Mom, you have to take a shot.
What do you guys drink? You said.
Which stinks because Fireball is my favorite.
We don't have any.
And I don't have it. And that's the weirdest thing. We always have some in
Yeah, she
stock,
always comes
and
with it.
we don't. So
Yeah,
we just
so
have
we-
drinks.
Oh, we did make strong drinks. Yeah.
I have to take a-
We're gonna come back. Let's do a shot. This is our.
Yeah, we have to take a shot.
And this to welcome you to our show.
And I found some Fireball.
I know you found the good ones. Those are more our tradition.
Did not think we had any.
No.
That's to
I want to go home.
pretends to struggle. Pretend that I don't want it. Pretend that we're not gonna drink it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I did a half.
Oof. I should have done a half.
Same.
That's the one thing. Do you know when to like, if you're on a wild night, do you know when to like stop and like?
Yes.
When
Actually, I've been really good about that. Even as far
have you
back
gotten
as I can
better, or was
remember.
that like an issue even at first, or was it always?
So
been,
even in my wildest and craziest days,
Yeah.
actually, when I would go out, we would go down to Lower Greenville. We'd go to Deep Ellum. We'd go to the neighborhoods, of course.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny is, I actually would never drink.
Really?
Um,
So you
because
weren't sober there?
well, seriously, and I would still have the best times. I would be on the bars
yeah.
dancing, I'd be in speakers dancing. But the thing is, it's that I was always kind of chicken that someone would put something in my drink.
Oh yeah, I feel like that's.
So if anyone were to ask me if I want anything, I would make sure it was water, and I would go to have like the bartender do it. I would. Don't get me wrong. I was a drinker. I did.
Okay,
I
yeah,
had
so
my
it's
great
still
times.
some-
But
yeah.
if it was like just nights like we're just gonna go out just to dance, like it was literally just to go dancing. Now like spring break time, that kind of stuff.
Oh, you.
Absolutely, 100%. We would go and drink and party. We'd go to Mexico, Padre, with my cousins, and have some great times. But even then, I would maybe have $10-20 in my pocket,
Yeah.
and come home with $10-20 in my pocket, because you would have people buy you drinks.
That's
And
the best. That's the best. I feel like now people,
Yeah,
more
like,
people
I
do
don't-
that. Like they just buy new drinks all the time.
And even then, I would drink. Yeah, I would. I was always the tequila person.
Okay.
But I really knew when to stop because I just wanted that control. I'm not saying never. I mean, Lord knows everybody has a wild, crazy
Yeah.
night for sure. I would be lying if I said I didn't. But for the most part, I would say I really knew when to like, I'm good.
Yeah. Wait, is it my cup? Let me make sure. Yeah, yours is on. She has it.
So, if you could give us one crazy night out story.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
In recent times, let's see that. Like recent times, like you got like.
No, I think older
Yeah,
times. I think
times,
older
yeah.
times would be more fun.
Oh wow.
She's like,
Because it could be
ooh,
something
she's
that
like-
maybe I haven't heard about. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that could also yeah.
Oh.
Me crazy.
Wow.
Maybe some of ours.
Like you're really making me think.
Like where somebody needs to take your phone away, somebody needs to like. You know.
We have to remember back in my day.
Oh, well,
We
yeah.
did not have the cell
We
phones.
need to go back to that.
The pager, the beeper.
Anybody take your beeper? Anybody take anything away just because you can't get it?
There would be some wild. Like I had a friend that we would definitely go spend a lot of time out, and there would be times that we kind of made this. And again, it seems like it was a short-lived period of time, but we did a lot in a short period of time. And we would kind of make a game where you get to a club, you do your rounds, you do 1 or 2 rounds, just to kind of see who's there, you know.
You get your bearings.
Yeah, where we're going to be, that kind of stuff. And then you would just randomly pick somebody, and you would be like, that one.
No.
And so by the end of the night, you're like, that one.
Okay, so that's kind of like.
So you kind of pick you pick your person.
I feel like now it's definitely not like.
It's not like that.
I'm gonna pick someone. I'm gonna go home with somebody. It's not like that anymore.
No, like why on God's green earth did we think that was a great idea?
That is crazy.
But we never failed.
Okay, that's good. You know.
We never failed. That was just. Maybe that was more like dumb than wild.
Of course, that was
definitely.
But I think too, it's not necessarily dumb. I just think it was 2 different worlds. Like,
it was very much 2 different worlds.
You know, you learn from that. I'm sure, like, made you double think or think about some stuff moving forward after you had those wild nights.
Yeah, there would be same thing. There was, a night where you're hanging out and. You meet people, let's all go back and hang out. Yeah. Great. And all of a sudden the wife shows up and the kids at the door and you're like,
oh no.
What's happening right now? and oh my gosh.
Real.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
it is not your turn.
We've had that happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's crazy.
Definitely the spring breaks in Mexico when you're running down the streets and you're being chased by who knows who.
Yeah.
Had that happen.
Definitely wild.
Yeah, it was definitely a different time. Now I look back at it, I'm like, what the hell were we thinking? Because stranger danger.
Right. Our parents always tell us, don't speak to strangers, and that's all we do now. I think we do pretty much that. But that's also mean, like, I don't know. I don't know. You meet people.
I mean, technically, you were a stranger.
I know. I talk to a lot of people. Literally, after 10, I'm like talking to anybody at the bar, or I'm just social butterfly. When
Sarah too, I can make friends with anybody, and I've actually had a friend tell me that they're like, "Do you not know a stranger?" I'm like, "No." Like I don't. Like even the waitress, like you just they take care of you. You're nice to them, so therefore I'm gonna be nice. Why not?
But I feel like too, like I have so much like anxiety and I'm shy sometimes. So when I'm drunk, I'm like, like, because I don't care. Like, I don't have the fear.
Yeah, for me,
hold on. Oh, the kids. I mean, kids. Mom, my mother is a mother. Okay.
They're gonna watch you later on. They were
asking. For those of you that don't know, I am one of 4. One of 4, and I have 1 biological brother and 2 adopted. And the 2 adopted, they are 7 and 9.
They keep us on our toes.
So, but what I was thinking the other day, like Noah and I have pretty much had, like, we've been only children in a very weird way. Like, no, I was 13 when Noah was born. And then
Noah was 8 or 9 when Eli came.
Yeah, Noah was 8 or 9, so Noah had all that time. But I would say too, like, even when Noah was around, I was around, but I wasn't around all in the same. Hold on one second. Good. I literally had his car seat in my car, and I had a sticker in my car, and everyone thought it was the funniest thing ever, but I said, don't forget the baby. Do you remember that?
I do. We had that on there for a while.
Forever. It was a sticker.
She lost any of them? Anything wild? No, she's good with
No. I think they see Tori as she's their sister, yes, but she is an authority figure.
Yeah, obviously.
So
they've called me like sister mom before.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard too, like I feel like when they're like, oh, my big sister, and they're like two or a year of a difference, like their relationship is more brother sister. So like they'll cover for each other. They'll do like whatever for each other. But for me, I feel like I can't. Like I feel like I'm too old. Like I have to tell my parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I hate it because like I don't want to be a snitch. Like, because for you're just snitching, but it's like you're an adult.
Yeah, like I have that with my sister. Even though we're closer in age, I have the same thing. But she'll still like. Actually, there's a lot of stuff we can keep down low between just her. But there's times that I know that she's gonna like tell my mom like. Just because she has to, there's just no way.
I'll try to keep it quiet for a couple days.
Yeah, she'll try.
I'll try to keep it quiet for a couple days, and then I end up calling her, and I'm like, Mom.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know. She's like, fuck, what?
My mom knows that too. My mom knows that too.
That's very true.
You know when they get in trouble, they're like, or do you know when they're hiding stuff and when they're like plotting anything? Can you tell?
I think I could always tell.
Yeah.
It's so funny because with Tori, I'm probably telling on her now, but she gets this real thing with her lip and her gums start showing, and I can kind of really tell.
Even when my lips are done? Like now that my lips
are done. Not the fillers. It's just the fillers. Just a bad filler job. Fillers in Mexico.
I'm texting my lady. I need another lip injection session than you.
Find a new one.
Where I feel like my oldest Noah, he's a little different. He cannot not tell me anything. He's super transparent, so there's no guessing.
Oh, okay, you get that.
Like he just will word vomit.
Yeah.
Because he can't not say anything. Yeah, so they're polar opposites.
That's how I am with my mom too. Like, I'll eventually, if I do something, I'll just tell her, even if it's a day that I couldn't tell.
No.
I feel guilty. Guilt gets me all the time.
Guilt.
Always. And my sister's the opposite. She will like hold on to everything, and she'll just she'll be like that. But
now the little ones, they're still so naive that I can say, hey, I got cameras, or one of them really thinks I have eyes behind my head. Or so they're still in that
the innocence is still there.
That's good.
So for them, I could just literally pull it out of them somehow. Just gotta get creative, but that's fine.
But even then, like they're still little, you can just be like, you're not gonna get dessert,
right?
And they're spilling they're spilling the fucking tea from last month about it.
Yes, dessert is where it's at. If you want to know anything, that's where it's at.
Food. It's really just food. Like, do you want a McDonald's Happy Meal?
Right.
Spill it.
So never do anything around them.
Now, funny story really quick. I actually, when Noah turned about 3 or so, I told him that McDonald's was made out of chicken butts and chicken lips. Uh-huh. So I'm like, it's gross. Like, you don't want to eat it. Yeah. Therefore, he didn't. Up until probably,
we moved here.
I want to say actually since we got Nico, not even Eli. It was Nico.
That's
we
true.
Actually started going back to McDonald's because we just stopped going to McDonald's.
Really?
And that was back when this things were coming out of what the chicken nuggets really made of.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, you're so mean. Like, your poor kids, they can't have McDonald's. And I'm like, mm-mm.
Well, it did the job at least. So
it's only until recent. And even then, the first couple of times I bought it, he's like, why are you buying this? Like, it's made out of chicken butts and chicken lips. And
go back. Maybe revisit that topic again with him.
Yeah. So
but the littles,
they redid the recipe.
Yeah.
But the littles, they don't care. They don't care. We told them. We said it's chicken butts and chicken lips, and they were like, "Okay, throw the toenails into, and I'm gonna still eat it."
Add some seasons, some sauces.
Exactly.
But you know what it is though? It's the fucking toy that they put in the Happy Meal box. It is the cheap ass dollar store toy that floors kids. And shout out to the marketing team for that.
It's so good.
Yeah,
but you know what though? I will say the best kids meal though is Chick-fil-A because you can trade in your toy for an ice cream cone.
I didn't even know they had kids meal like that.
Yeah. Oh. They don't have a chicken sandwich for kids, but they have nuggets. A 6 count.
Yeah.
A 6 count and then an 8 count is the adult meal. Yeah.
That's crazy.
What else we got?
You know what? I love how now, like you guys, when you guys go out and you go to clubs, I'm like, wait, that was actually this club a long time ago. Because like I used to go there all the time.
You recognize some
of the names, like we used to go to the Village. Well, the Village is not the Village anymore. Now it's
Oaklawn. It's the Strip.
It changed.
So
now it's the Roundup, right?
Roundup.
Now it's the Roundup, and we used to go there once a week, maybe twice a week.
Well, those like Uptown and all those are still, or those new?
No, they're probably long gone.
No, they're all gone. Really? Especially the Blue Planets of the world, Eden 2000. Those are all
Deep Ellum has a lot of new ones like that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I don't recognize hardly any. The building, I think the building's there, but I don't have no idea. But I'm
you know what else is still the same? Escapade.
Oh my God.
Was it 2001 and then 2009?
Oh, 901. Oh
my. And then New West, they redid it. No, New West is still there.
Wait, have you, when was the last time you guys went to 09 or 01? I was there like a long time ago.
Oh my God, I was probably like 17.
Really?
Yeah.
I went there a couple times this year, and
couldn't tell you.
It's just crazy now. It's packed.
There was a place called New West or Old West. It was
Far
something
West. There was also
Far West.
Yes.
Far West, like
In Dallas, it was like right off the highway.
Yeah, it's right next to all of those, almost close to Harry Hines. Anything
Yes.
on Harry Hines?
Yes.
Any of those?
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah,
ever go to
for sure.
any after party or any after
No.
hour clubs? Because I just discovered those. I didn't even know that was a thing.
No.
No.
I mean, because back then we would all go to someone's place, like
someone's
a
place.
apartment or a loft or
I
somewhere.
prefer that
But
over,
yeah.
but the places just stay open till like 6, 7, 8 in the morning. Sometimes like people are just wild sometimes, and they
Yeah,
keep it
I know.
going. Music is.
But
like,
there's no alcohol, right?
Some I've been, a lot of them I've been to like.
Or aren't they like
just
BYOB?
there. Well, BYOB, but then some just sell, and I don't think that's allowed. I don't know, but they sell like just vodka, whiskey, and then your mixers. That's all. They don't do like crazy shots or drinks.
Oh my gosh, I remember one time we were at my cousin's down in South Texas, and they stopped selling beer after a certain hour, and he's like, "No, I got this place we're gonna go to. They like it's kind of bootleg." I'm like, "Okay." So we're driving down this country road and end up at this like mobile home park that looked like the Blair Witch Project out there, and there was this one trailer that had the little light on, and you go and knock on the door, and they just hand you a case of beer through the door.
After hours.
And it's totally after hours. I'm like, this is shady, but
yeah,
we got
I
our
didn't know
beer.
that they had that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. I don't.
That's cool.
We
Yeah.
But you know what? People see that though. I've seen it on like Twitter a couple times. Like, who's the beer plug right now? Who's the beer plug right now? And people will text out and be like, "Oh, this person." And I'm like, that's some hustling ass business.
It's better because they'll just is like, for this amount, just bring whatever you want, and then we just serve you like ice and you juice or whatever. But some places I've been to, and I don't know because I don't know if they're legal or not, but they do have vodka. They have all these things. And I mean, after a while, you just stop drinking though, because you just don't. Some of them just allow you smoke inside too. It's like, it's just a while. And they're not even strip clubs either. They're just regular clubs.
The strip club is a wild place.
How do we feel about that? I don't.
Have you been to a strip club?
Me?
You have for sure.
Oh yeah.
Male
Yeah.
and women.
Yes.
Men and women.
Yeah.
I mean?
So in my past life, when I was a Hooter girl, we used to go because a lot of a couple of the girls would date some of the male dancers.
Oh, yeah.
So we'd go and
At La Bear's.
At La Bear's.
La Bear's. That's a famous male club in Dallas. I went there one year for spring break.
Is this still a thing now?
Yeah.
I think it's still there.
It's still there. It's a male strip club.
Northwest.
I
That way.
never heard
So we would go there. So obviously there's male strippers there. Females, I think I've been maybe a handful of times. Nothing crazy. Like we would just go after work. A couple of girls, like we would get bored really because they knew other girls that were working.
And just to reiterate, my mother was a Hooters girl. Hooters girl. I can't believe it.
Hey, I had to make money. I had a child to support.
But it was so crazy. Like,
child to
she had
feed.
that kind of body after I was born. And, like, I have never... Y'all, Rue's going ape shit. I have never had the body to be a Hooters girl. And I hate it. And you know what? And my little brother has the body to be a Hooters girl. And I'm like, what did I do wrong?
You're right.
What did he do right?
He got all the long eyelashes and
the muscles and the donk. He is Kim K, like slim, fit, thick.
You think we crossed any boundaries? You think we should cross more boundaries? What?
No, I think y'all push it right to the line.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think y'all gone over. No.
Okay.
But I think you've gotten right there at that
You probably
line.
cut him out. Actually.
But at the same time, I do feel that the people that know you just know.
Yeah.
Right. Like.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you just know. So it's kind of like we're following on the long side of it because we know, right? And I'm sure those people that you're talking about also know, because how can they not? Because they're listening on the side or getting told. And
we didn't know until we got confirmation from both sides or a bunch of sides.
I wouldn't doubt it. Come on, people are sneaky. Like it's gonna happen, right? So I have no doubt. 100%. Everybody's in the know. But I feel that people that would not know your stories, like I think you're right there. Like you're in that line.
I think we kind of make it to where like, we want to, tease it up, but don't like give everything right away. Kind of bring him in, and I think each episode they still get a little bit of us and a little bit more of our personalities. And
Well, I think too, like meeting Texas was a very, very surprise. I was about to take off my earrings because I wasn't sure.
I was ready for both of you because I saw Tori.
It was one of those like head tilt moments.
I thought,
I'm like, are we
so
taking
funny
off
because
the earrings? Like, what are we doing?
I saw your face as soon as he came by.
Oh my god! Because you were like, "Don't be mad at me, don't be mad at me," and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
He was gonna show up like that, and I was expecting maybe more time, or we were figuring out, and I was like, look to your right, look to your right. I was like, what the fuck is happening? And
I
was
saw
like,
him.
And Tori just looked at me. She kind of mumbles, and I was like,
I know. I saw you. I was like,
I'm like, are we? Well, this is where we're going with this.
I didn't.
But you know what? Okay. Side note. Me and my mom's facial communication skills, they're iconic.
I could tell.
Me and my mom could have a full conversation, beginning, middle, end, no tea, nothing left unsaid, without speaking to each other.
I could see that when we were filming that episode, like with Chris and everything. Like I could see her like just looking at you, and you were like, you guys were.
We had our own conversation.
Yeah, I could see.
No, we were talking.
I'm really, but it's face expressions. Oh, I can't hold back. It's a thing. But I do think, and I think at one point, I don't forget what the conversation was, and I remember I looked at you and I'm like, just remember the Alamo.
I remember that, and they
so I was like, ooh.
Yeah, it was a straight.
And so yesterday, whenever Texas had walked up, I remember looking at my mom and being like, "Oh shit, girl!"
I heard you say.
I was like, "Strap it in your fucking boots right now,"
like,
and then I was like,
"Fighting you right now." What'd you
Texas, and my mom looked at me like, "Are we squaring up?" And I gave her the look of like, "We gonna play it cool, like we gonna play it all right."
And he was scared more for you because he's seen the podcast obviously, but my friends, like I have my other two best friends, and they don't really say much. But Tori's the one that's been more vocal and has said because we've discussed it more openly, and so he was super scared. Yeah, he was super scared again, and I didn't know her reaction, and then I was like, "Hey, well, it's not as bad." But I think everyone just knows who I was gonna be on my side. Even I confronted him. Did you tell her about his friend that you met up with?
No! Oh my god! Oh no! She would have watched it on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
When his friend and I matched, Texas and I's best friend matched.
Yes.
And she was trying to make me look.
It was like I matched with like his Tori type of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I confronted him about it.
And she still follows me and watches my story.
Well,
she's probably listening right now, watching right now.
Hey girl. Hey bestie. I'm dating someone else and I'm super happy.
And I told Tori, like, I tried to set her up with that girl before when me and him were dating because
that is true. But back then I was like a maniac.
I knew you guys could have hit it off and there could be something, and it just never happened for some reason.
No.
And then look at that, it happened later on. But that ended quick, so I don't know. It's good.
Well, Tori is not a shy person.
Not at all.
You will always know where you stand, if you like it or not.
Straight up, yeah.
There's no filter, and she gets that from her father.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I think she gets, don't get me wrong, she's got a lot of my characteristics. However, she's her dad. She's her dad. That's that Italian spice. Now, you got to imagine, she's half Italian, half Hispanic. Yeah. So those two things are spicy, right? Like there's a lot of theirs already.
One of the harder ones, yeah.
So I feel that even for all her friends, she's always been the muscle.
Yeah.
Dude, the fucking muscle.
Yeah, and
now I'm such a crybaby.
Not in a bad way. But I feel like even in your circle of friends, you've had some very, very close friends through the years, and they're still your friends, and they've always said like, if you were there, they knew they were good.
Yeah. And I think she brings out, people like, for me, she brings out, like, make me more, like, out there and just, do whatever, okay.
I think it's crazy, though, because so many people have told me, like, dude, you bring in the biggest dick energy into a room. And to me, I feel like I'm a wallflower. No, so I think it's so funny because people always say that, like, you're so intimidating. Yeah. And I'm like,
sorry.
I've heard that.
It could have been. after all, obviously, it was just from there. It was just fun. But I think it could be like, or even coming into meeting other people. Like I don't know, I'll be always be like, oh.
It's that resting bitch face though. Like it's my whole face card.
I mean, well, you gotta use it. Yeah. You know?
I just look unimpressed 99% of the time. But you know what though? I it's also like I hate it all in the same sense because I've had people be like, dude, you look so miserable that whole time. In the meantime, inside, I was like having the time of my life. Yeah. Like, it's just my face.
Yeah, people think like you're mad or something.
And I'm not mad. Like, I can tell you how many times I go out with people and they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, like, what are you talking about? And they're like, no, but then that turns into an argument because they think you're lying. And I'm like, I'm really not lying. I think my face just looked super fucked up for 2 seconds.
Also, I think
I get that too.
Yeah.
See, I'm a Leo as well, so
see, it has to be that big personality is always with a Leo. So I think straight up you're gonna get what you're seeing right now is that we're gonna get, and there's not gonna be any.
But like, not only are we Leos, Mom's birthday is the day after mine. So, like, how did it feel? Like, all of your most important birthdays were probably, like, downplayed as fuck because of me. Like, that's some tea. Like, your 21st, your 25th, your 30th.
That's true. That is true. But, I mean, what are you going to do, right?
I don't even remember when you turned 30.
I don't either. We probably didn't do anything, to be honest. No, didn't I go to Mexico? Then you had your party here? Because you would have been 20.
I've been 21. No.
So that's when you had your big bash here at the house when we were in Mexico. And the neighbors were calling me from Mexico.
Oh my God, I did a huge birthday bash too with my 21st. People were doing cake stands by my TV. My mom was pissed. She was like, why is it...
At the house you have now?
No, it was in another one. And
see, the house here, we're close to our... Like, it's a typical backyard to backyard. Yeah. And I had a bounce house. I had a DJ. I had a pool party. I filled up a whole bucket of, like, punch with Everclear.
Yes.
Not good. For 21st, and we just went wild.
You know what, though? I blame it on Project X.
That's what I followed from there, too.
Everybody wanted to party that hard ever since the movie came out.
I'm trying to remember.
It's a big party one.
It was, like, the nerdiest kid in school. Like, the nerdiest kid in school that, like, nobody probably cared about. Ended up throwing like the rager of the century. And it was so funny because you know what, at the very end the parents weren't even mad because of the fact that like he played by the books. He was probably like valedictorian, like whatever, to the point where they weren't even mad. They were like hell yeah, like hell yeah, even though like their house was like obliterated.
What, she's not ever thrown parties like that, like that we didn't know about. Now, or found out about, right? But I feel that being a young parent too, a lot of the times we would be partying, and if our daughters wanted to hang out with us, we would let them.
You guys are probably already like. I mean, you probably still like maybe might be thinking.
Well, that was the thing. Like they would go outside and they would give us the house.
Yeah.
Or vice versa, right?
Vice versa, yeah.
So at least I knew where my kid was, and I knew she was accounted for, and I knew exactly what was happening and when. Was that the right thing to do? I don't know, but we did it, and that's just what happened. And I feel that because of that, there was very little sneaking around.
Oh yeah,
there was very little we didn't know about or find out about.
Tell you. Yeah.
So I feel that having that communication and just that flexibility for her to be her and grow into herself, but like we were one arm length away.
Oh, that's good, because like especially I think Hispanic parents do that a lot. Like they rather have their kids like do it here
rather than anywhere else. Yeah, and we did that with my family. Like my dad was a musician, so music is everything in our household. And on Saturday nights, he would get his case of Coors Light. Or probably not even a case, sorry. Probably like a 12 pack, if anything.
Yeah, at least.
And he would get my mom some wine coolers, and I was allowed to have one, Thought it was so cool. And we would push the couches back, and he would put on records, and we would dance. And that was our Saturday, up until even after I got married. Like, it's like we're going to my parents' house because it's Saturday night. We're going to barbecue and...
But, like, I remember that, too, growing up. And it was, like...
That's just it.
The funnest thing. And then... he has really bad arthritis now, but before then he would play me to sleep every night with a guitar. But nothing compares to my very first Pride, like being on the float and doing that. And then I went to Pride for like 2 years without my mom. And then after that, I was really just like, I don't want to do Pride if I don't do it with my mom.
My first Pride, literally, someone crashed my car.
No.
Yeah, Texas crashed my car. We got hit. And we ended up just it was just like a hit and run kind of thing. And it was just not a good situation. Everything was
That's
good.
crazy.
But that was my first Pride. That was like a few years ago. And it just keeps getting crazier every year, I think.
I don't know. I don't like Pride at Fair Park.
I don't either. Once they change it, the atmosphere is not the same. But I know that
I agree with that.
in like
I agree
August
with
and
that.
September, they're gonna be doing like a float, and they're gonna be doing parties. So we could probably go to that one, and we can vlog. We can create some content from there.
We should. That'll be fun.
I think it's September they're planning, because that's usually when it was original Pride.
I think, yeah.
And so people are trying to take it back and kind of do
because it's always like super hot.
Yeah.
I remember that. And sunny.
It is really hot.
Oh, I know.
But it's a good time, and I think it's especially for me, it's important to be a part of that. On the supportive side, like it's important to go and do, even though it's hot, but you're out there
to show up,
hot and glittery.
Show, because nobody else will. And
no,
right now there's a lot more. It's probably when we need to be showing up the most.
What's crazy is I feel that one story that just popped in my head right now was when we're talking about Pride is, being with Tori and meeting people that are random, that will want to know, like, that will ask, like, we were at Sephora one time, and the story just always sticks out at me the most, because we were at Sephora and she was like, that's my mom, and he's like, oh cool, like this guy, gentleman, I don't know. Nowadays I know we have to ask pronouns. I don't, but we didn't.
Well, back then he would have just he would have said he.
I'll just say he. And I think she had mentioned something about, I honestly don't even know how it came up about being gay, or I really don't know how that conversation came up. But he's like, wait, and you're okay with it? And I'm like, well, of course. He's like, but like you're supportive, and I'm like, yes. Like, and I promise you, this kid almost started to cry. Because he didn't have that.
Okay, I see that. Yeah,
and to have a supportive mother or a family member. And I was like, oh my gosh, do you need a hug? Like, I don't even know what to do.
They were hugging in the middle of Sephora.
But like, he didn't have that support. So I'm like, I couldn't imagine as a mother. And again, that's just me as a person. But I couldn't imagine as a mother not being supportive.
Or not having some people you just don't know.
Right.
They see that. If you, like, when you were just saying that, I could be like, oh, well, that's kind of annoying that they were asked that. Like, but you're saying it now, you think about it now.
Yeah.
You like, oh, well,
yeah, they want to hear that story. Or like, when Tori came out to us, I'm like, okay, I know. I knew.
Yeah.
I already knew. And she was like, what? I don't know what if you wanted more out of me or was to say more. But she's just like looking at me, and I'm like, okay. And like, I knew that. So...
Yeah, it was literally like
we're cooking out or something. I'm like,
we were cooking out
burger.
Like she was just like, you're so dumb, on to the next. And I was like, here I am saying the most traumatic thing of my entire life. But it's also so cool.
Being a teenager or having a teenager during that time, back then the boy bands were big.
Oh, yeah.
The Backstreet Boys or anything. And her friends, all her little girlfriends, they had their favorites. Like, oh, Justin Timberlake or Nick Carter or whatever. And Tori would be like, yeah, that one. Cool. Like, that
one's cool, I guess. The one.
Like, I picked that because they each would pick one, right? Like, that one's mine. And
I would just take the leftover one.
Okay, I guess.
And it was always the one that's not that cute.
Yeah,
so it's like...
You really like that one? That's yours?
Okay, cool. So you kind of know, like, it was like, I'm like, yeah, sure. But I in my lifetime, I have family members that even back when it was not accepted and not talked about, that were gay, and they could not, or they did. They weren't. It wasn't that they weren't true to themselves, but it wasn't like you couldn't say it totally out loud. And I hate that for them, because they couldn't experience what it is now.
Right, it's a lot. Yeah.
Like now they can. Today they can, present day, but I just feel like when they were in their teenage prime, like it was like you keep that on the side, on the low.
Them, like, everything
but I feel like too, I came out early too. Like there wasn't really gay people at school. Like there wasn't. It was very unnatural. And I remember there was like a bi girl when I was in middle school, and everyone went ballistic. So it was like, again, I was so terrified to come out as a freshman in high school, and I was one of the only ones. Like, everybody knew, like, there's that one gay girl in school, and that gay girl is Tori. Like, that was it. And it was so crazy.
That helped pave the way a little bit to some of your other friends that finally started.
That's true. Really I will say that, though, because, like, I had a lot of respect. But I had a lot of respect from a lot of girls. Like, girls that I wouldn't even know, but I could tell that they were gay. And, like, they would give me so much respect. And I was just like, okay, like, cool. Like, I'll be your support. Like, that's cool. And I would say, too, like, as Mom had that one story of the guy at Sephora, I'll never forget, we were at a TCU game. And, by the way, like, Mom is, like, huge in the advocacy of the LGBTQ community. Like, she's in the Facebook groups and like, leaders of the discussions and blah, 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 blah. Well, we were sitting next to this guy and his dad, and the guy had a photo of him and a guy on his phone screen, right? And I knew he was gay. Like, my gaydar is the OGs of gaydars, you know? So I was like, oh, is that your... I was like, oh, do you have a partner or anything? And I said partner because I knew. Yeah. He was like, I do have a partner. It's this or whatever. And I was like, that's so cool. Mm-hmm. And his dad looked over and said something. And I could tell his dad was not supportive. And I remember being like, oh, are your parents cool with it? Like, that's cool that you and your dad can hang out and do like a manly or a more masculine. Sorry, I shouldn't say manly. A more of a masculine thing, like a football game or whatever. And the dad snaps, I mean, with a freaking quickness, snaps around and goes like this and goes, oh, I am not okay with it. Yeah, straight up. And he was like, I love my son, but I am not okay with his choices, and we do not agree. Mm-hmm. And the son just kind of looked at me and was like, and I immediately gave him my phone number, and I was like, oh, because it was almost Thanksgiving, I think.
Yes.
It was almost Thanksgiving.
She invited him to Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Well, because I said, oh, you're going to hang out on Thanksgiving. And he goes, no, because of the dad. And I was like, well, if you want to come be very gay at my Thanksgiving, you're more than welcome to do that. And that's one thing too I've loved about my mom. Like, she has an open table, open door policy.
We're just making an effort. It shouldn't be hard, right? No. Like, it shouldn't be.
I think it's becoming more normal now. I mean, not normal, but maybe it's just less of a bigger deal, which it can be if you want it to be, but it also doesn't need to be that huge thing if you don't want it to be either. Mm-hmm. And I think people should just be like at their comfortable at. You know?
I was just thinking, my son Noah, he has two friends, and I want to say are not maybe non-binary, maybe
non-binary, I would say,
and or a lesbian. Two different girls, and meeting one of them for the very first time, she came over and introduced us, super sweet, you know, and it was her birthday. And I'm like, and why are you just here at my house? Right. Like, not doing something. You don't imagine 15-year-olds. Yeah, like,
no, it was her quince, like it was her 15th birthday.
And I'm like, and you're here at my house, right, like just hanging out.
But you know how Mexicans feel about a 15? Like a 15 is
special.
It's a big age.
So Tori actually just so happened to be at the house, and I'm like, let's run to Kroger. Mm-hmm. So we did a supermarket sweep, and we ran into Kroger looking for a cake. But don't you know, every cake we
had a rainbow.
Had rainbows, and so I didn't want to
Oh my God!
I didn't want to be that person.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Like,
so
rainbows.
Rainbows, right?
So supportive. So we found one cake that was painted like orange, and we're like, orange it is, because I didn't want to do that to this poor person. And so got some candles. We went down the snack aisle, made a birthday bag full of nothing but candy. And we get back, and I think they even had those little squishmallows.
Yeah, the squishmallows or whatever they're called.
I don't know. Yeah. I couldn't even tell you her name.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's your birthday. Like, that's just what you do.
But
well, we got a party, and we gotta do it.
Absolutely.
Yes. We did a little pregame party at the Hidden Door last time, and now Mom knows how strong the drinks are.
Yeah, we gotta be prepared next time.
So we have to be well prepared, well hydrated.
Triple shots.
Triple
Like,
shot.
it was a triple
saying,
shot.
like, for mine, I
It
just
was
get
strong.
And for mine, it's like $5. But like, if you get a little bit, it's still under $10.
Cheap.
It still was a good price for what you're getting.
For what you're getting,
And
yeah.
the atmosphere was super cute.
It was cute, yeah.
And that was just on a Thursday.
It's a safe space.
Yeah.
It really is. You can feel that.
For the community.
You can really
It's a
feel
safe
that.
space for the community.
And it wasn't wild and crazy. Like, people were just hanging out having a beer.
Yeah. No,
Like,
they
that's...
can, yeah.
Not that, you know, you want them on the tables dancing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it was just so chill and laid back. It was a really nice
Everyone's respectful.
atmosphere.
Everyone kind of respects you. I've taken a lot of my straight guy friends, like super macho guy, and everyone's respectful with them. They, you know, if you're not, you know, fucking with anyone, no one's gonna fuck with you. That's it. It's just really, that's how it is there, and it's just like.
But then we went out after.
Yeah.
Sporting club.
Shout out, had my own little
How'd
DJ
that
going
go?
on.
How'd that
Oh
go?
my gosh. So she.
When did y'all get home? How late? Is it late?
Like
2:30
something, yeah.
Yeah. So you guys closed and shut it down. Also.
But I feel like I actually didn't drink that much.
Yeah. It wasn't that.
It wasn't like that.
She was my driver.
Yeah, I drove, but it was fun. So you know, when we got there, she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna DJ you a mix." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh!"
Atmosphere. I saw the lights. I saw everything. It looked
She played me some Bon Jovi because I have an obsession.
Yeah.
It's a bad obsession with Bon Jovi. And she started my jams out with some Bon Jovi. Yeah.
That
Started the night out really well.
Oh, we're gonna we should go somewhere. We should go to that new place that just opened, Hamburger Mary's. It's like
Yeah.
Actually, it's one of the
that would be
most popular
fun.
places.
We
like,
should. That'd be
on
fun.
Sunday, like at the Snoop.
Oh, the drag. We went to a drag.
We went to a drag match. Yeah, it was
That
fun.
was a lot of
This
fun.
one just opened. It's like it's very popular. They have them like in LA and like big cities, and it's very known.
Maybe for our
And they
birthday.
just opened. Yeah.
Oh,
So
birthday
Actually,
brunch.
like a
Cute.
birthday.
They have. If they just open it, it's such a fun place.
Because again, our birthdays are
Yeah.
next week.
We can
So
try
Tori
to-
decided to come 6 weeks early. That's how she was born.
Oh,
Like, she came on her own time, 6
And she had
weeks
to
early.
pick the day. Right.
The girl who's always late.
Oh, that is true. You just have to come in there with she just wanted to.
At 10:54 p.m. Almost my birthday.
I'm a night bird.
She could have taken it all. She could have just.
Not a night bird, a night owl.
Oh really?
Yeah. Yeah.
And 6 weeks early.
Well, I guess we gotta wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Thanks for having me.
Wrap it around.
We want to have you again.
Yeah, we'll have you again, maybe in a more professional setting, not your
I'll
house.
be turning. I feel like I'm keep turning. I'm so sorry.
No.
I don't know where I'm looking.
We showed
I'm
up
trying to look
here
forward, I can't.
with cameras,
Yes.
and we drank all of her liquor, and we're gonna keep drinking it.
Yes, we're gonna do it. So we'll be back next week. And
Bye, guys.
see you guys.